Hi everyone, this is Mike Frisello. I'm a student at USF, and today I'll be walking you through a Tableau report. First, let me mention that what we're going to be doing is identifying the lowest performer, hence the lowest performer finder. Let me walk you through some of the data, some of the attributes. So we're going to be looking at life insurance policies, life insurance, home insurance, auto insurance, professional insurance, auto insurance. We're going to match these up against states and regions, see how well they're doing. We'll be measuring their contribution margin, their prices, cost, and their contribution margin ratio. In light contribution margin ratio, the higher or closer to 100%, the better. Let's walk through it. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, let's talk about the data included and what we're looking for. So we have the regions mapped out here by quarter, and we're measuring their contribution margin. Down at the bottom here, we also have the products. I'll refer to the insurance policies as products. I don't see any trends within the region, but I do see overall that the North, East, West, and West are performing much lower than the other regions. Significantly, the Northwest is performing lower than the Northeast and West, so we'll focus on the Northwest. Moving on. Here we're just going to confirm which region is performing the lowest with respect to contribution margin. Before I kind of made a guess just by looking at the trend there in the graphs, but this is a way to solidify my findings. We want to think about, well, why is the Northwest underperforming all the other regions? That's something that we would want to look into. I would think that maybe the price of the policies are not high enough, or the costs are too high. So by either increasing the price or lowering the cost will have a significant impact on the contribution margin. Moving on. We're looking at the contribution margins in the Northwest region by product. So here we're just trying to identify which product in the Northwest is not performing well. And clearly, life insurance is the product we're identifying. Again, put the thinking cap on, and we're asking ourselves, well, why is life insurance not performing well in the Northwest? Well, let's dive into it. Brings me to my interactive dashboard. So here we are highlighting all the states' contribution margin ratio in the Northwest, from lowest being red and highest being green. Again, the highest in green is a good indicator of a healthy contribution margin ratio. What I like about the interactive dashboard here is we can click on, let's say, Montana. It seems to be our lowest one, and we can see that the products adjust accordingly to Montana. We also have a slider here that will take us through the quarters to see if there was any trends in the quarter. And again, since we're trying to identify the lower performers, we're looking at life here, since life is our lowest performing product. And we see that there's a dip between the second and third, and then a increase from the third to the fourth. So the interactive dashboard was very helpful in identifying where the trend was with respect to contribution margin and quarter in Montana. Moving forward, we'll look at Northwest contribution margin bar charts. Again, I think it was clearly or significant to say that, or in this case maybe redundant to say that life insurance is our product that we're trying to measure since it's our lowest performer. I really just wanted to see how well it did with respect to other states within the Northwest, just to make sure my findings are accurate. What we're seeing here is Montana takes the place of our lowest performer with respect to life insurance. So here we identify the state, and we're going to think now, well, why is Montana performing lower than the other states? Are there any significant factors? I think the factors we covered so far, it's going to be by quarter. We haven't looked so much into price or cost, but we have looked at the contribution margin and the ratio. To continue, I would like to drill down into what is causing the contribution margin ratio to fall between quarter 2 and quarter 3, and then increase from quarter 3 to quarter 4. What we're looking at is I would consider this a combo chart. You have a column chart here with a line graph, and the columns represent our contribution margin, and then the line graph represents our number of units sold, our number of policies sold within that quarter. And you can tell that from quarter 2 to quarter 3 we had a significant drop in policies, and then from quarter 3 to quarter 4 we see a steady rise. And I've noted here that the Montana's life insurance report identifies quarter 3 as the lowest performing quarter with respect to units sold and contribution margin. And I think this helped find a trend within Montana. We see that quarter 3 is our area for improvement. How do we improve quarter 3 next year for Montana? We got to think about what's unique about quarter 3. Quarter 3 is August, September, October, right? So what are people doing in those months? How can we utilize those months to reach more people? I would expect people to be maybe exhausted from the previous quarter. As you can tell, there's more units sold, but also considering that quarter 2 is your, I think, busy month because springtime, summer, people are out doing things, shopping, etc. So quarter 3 could be negatively impacted by how well we're doing in quarter 2 just because of the habit, the natural organic chemistry of quarter 2 and how that relates to people just being out and doing things. So that's the obstacle, I think, to overcome is how do I reach more people in quarter 3? How do I get more people to do things in quarter 3? I think just use more ways of contacting people, make more attempts. Marketing definitely has a foot in that door, so they'll have to come up with some good ideas. Moving forward, I think we talked about the solution, so let me just sum this up or give a conclusion that Montana's life insurance did poorly, or not, I wouldn't say poorly, just underperformed everyone else because their quarter 3 took a big hit. Now, I want to talk about Tableau and how it's been very useful to use and some of the cool features. And I would like to start by saying that the dashboard was very fun for me, and as well as I would imagine some of the users. If I were to publish this at a company, I think it gets people involved and really helps user understand the data a little bit better and how it all interacts. I also like the story feature. I think this makes it very easy for people and publishers to get their point across in a meaningful way, and I think that's something that requires many different programs. If you're not using Tableau, for instance, if you're using Excel, you really can't have the same feature as story mode versus Tableau, and then you would also need some kind of like PowerPoint, but this story kind of takes both of those and like combines them together and makes it very convenient for the user to put something together. It also, I think, would help save a lot of time, and since we don't want to spend so much time putting things together, we want to just be able to identify the problem, fix the problem. Tableau is, I think, a time saver. I think that concludes my video on my Tableau report. Thanks again for watching, and hope you learned a lot. I know I did.